Hello viewers, welcome to my track guide for Oran Park Raceway Grand Prix layout in the Skip Barber. On screen now, as always, is my setup. This hasn't changed for the last few weeks. Running 2.1 gallons of fuel. You will need 3.1 in the race. Looking onto the laps, gonna check out my last two laps here, lap 27, lap 28. 13.9, followed up with a 14.0, which I'll leave commentary free. And the weather for this session is on screen now. Pretty average weather, I'd say. 7-mile-an-hour wind, 95 track temperature, so not too bad. Without further ado, let's jump into the car. Okay, so here we are on track, just about to start the first of our flying laps. So we're crossing the start finish line. Just after the end of the pit wall on the right, we're going to start braking, change down to 4th gear for the first part of this corner. As we enter the second kind of part of the corner, into the kind of hairpin, we're going to be running wide into this lane, trying to keep the car as straight as possible on the steering, going all the way down to 1st gear. Important to keep that steering straight until you've done all your braking. Then we're going to power through this corner as much as possible. Try and power out of it. Up to 3rd gear. Going to come using the start of this curb as our braking marker. We're going to come back down to 1st gear. Again, hugging the curbs but not mounting the curbs. Important not to mount the curbs on this track because they are terrible. Briefly go up to 3rd gear here. And then down to 2nd. We're going to kind of apply power as you see fit around this corner. It's hard to say exactly how much power you need. It's just an on-off, and drift out to the left-hand side of the track here, and you want to hold the left-hand lane of this around here as you power up the hill. Now this is an important corner because you can gain a good couple of temps in this corner alone. As you come up the hill, because it's blind, a lot of people will run wide, a bit wide here. So as soon as you see that, you really want to get into that apex. A lot of people will not hit that apex very well. And the same goes for this next corner. The next sequence of corners, to be quite honest, can all be pretty much taken in 3rd gear, and you can ride a lot of the curbs. So this next corner, we're going to come into it. You can barely see it, and you can see it. We're braking a little bit, and we want to hit the inside of this curb as much as possible. It's going to force us wide, and you've got to keep the power down here. And then through this next bit, we've gone briefly up to 4th here. Going to come back down to 3rd. Keep the power on through this left-hander. Power out. Get across to the left-hand side as much as possible. And on this corner, completely blind chicane effectively. You want to run as much right-hand curb as possible. And as soon as you get to this point of the track, as you'll see on my steering, I'm just going to... Now you can basically steer left. You just got to kind of... It's a matter of running laps around here to get confidence in actually doing it. Steering wheel basically you can't see, but once you get used to the road actually being there, it's okay. At this point, we're using these skid marks as our braking area for this braking zone into the final corner. Down to 2nd gear. Try to stay off this curb as much as possible because it does unsettle the car, and I've noticed it getting much better acceleration onto the final straight when not hitting the curbs. And be wary, you can power out into the wall if you're not too careful. One last point to make is this is the pit entrance. It's a very tight entrance to the pit. Be careful if you're behind another car that may be going in the pit lane, because you are going to be exiting this corner in the pit lane entrance effectively, so that can cause an issue. The 2nd lap, I'm just going to let to run as always. Okay, and there we have it. That's 2 laps around Oran Park. Definitely not my favourite track, but I hope this has helped someone out there. As always, guys, if it has helped you, please hit a like button, subscribe to this channel, share the video, and until next time, I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.